Hello, and I'm back with Robert Sawyer, once again, technology partner at Sikich, and he's also the author of our Cloud Readiness Assessment portion of our guide. It's a very long guide if you haven't seen it already. So, Robert, let's get into it. Why do you recommend that organizations complete a Cloud Readiness Assessment, even if they already have been using some cloud apps?
So something as critical as an ERP, which is going to be operationally impactful to your business, at a minimum, what you're doing is you're taking the opportunity to assess risk. There's what you become accustomed to over time, and sometimes that can be getting used to maybe not necessarily the best practices, and so you want to establish a new baseline. Microsoft's been in this space since the early version, since 2010. There's been a lot of lessons learned. There are ways to consider for more efficient deployments. And again, it's about reducing and mitigating risk as much as possible. So if there's any kind of preliminary planning, some internal discussions about what the next steps are, this all becomes, in my opinion, a value added benefit of going through an ERP implementation.
So what can you expect from a cloud readiness assessment?
Yeah, so with the cloud readiness assessment, there's going to look at a lot of different things, but just to kind of frame this in this response, it's infrastructure strategy issues. What's going to have a potentially lasting impact across your organization, network topology, authentication, endpoint management. They're going to review what kind of problems can impede your implementation. So basically, what are the time bandits out there that could disrupt deployment of new business applications, tenant configurations, circuit issues, equipment capability gaps. They're going to take a look at what's going to affect the user experience. So, perception can become reality, right? And if your team is challenged because of something on the back end, I'll say in the big air quotes of a cloud deployment, do you have the sufficient bandwidth? Is the equipment capacity up to speed? Are there any identity management processes that need to be either re-engineered or rethought? And security issues. You don't want to find that you're at risk later on down the road after there's been a breach. So it's an alignment of being able to bring best practices directly into play, and then also leverage the most that you can get out of your ERP implementation.
So in terms of direct relatable value to your project, what does the cloud readiness assessment bring to the table?
Yeah, great question. It creates an opportunity to review and adopt your best practices. Basically vet whether or not your current policies, system governance, is there anything, because with technology, the change occurs at a rapid pace, and you want to make sure again that you're keeping pace with change, and policies can get outdated pretty quickly. And it's not so much again to that we're trying to pose questions of what if, but it's better to be safe than assume. And with the varying levels of assessments that we have, I think your team can be quickly brought up to speed, and it would be well worth your time.
Great. Thank you, Robert. Appreciate your time.